While they share a strong resemblance to the chimpanzee, bonobos are a distinct evolutionary branch. They have rounder faces, larger eyes, and share nearly 99% of our DNA, making a moment of eye contact feel like looking into a living mirror of our own past. This wide aerial view shows the murky, serpentine Congo River cutting through the dense jungle. For a primate that cannot swim, this deep, fast-moving water is a permanent wall. It traps the remaining 20,000 bonobos in one single pocket of the world, isolating them from everything outside the basin. This isolation makes them incredibly elusive. To witness them in their natural habitat, you have to cross into one of the most sweltering and unforgiving environments on the planet. The journey officially begins at 5 a.m. in the city of Kinshasa. As the sun rises over the traffic, the crew packs taxis full of survival gear and camera kits, preparing to trade the noise of the city for the silence of the deep bush. The transition is immediate and physical. Trekking toward the campsite means moving 30-kilogram backpacks through the brush in 35-degree heat and 100% humidity. Every breath feels heavy. To keep the operation moving, the team relies on an ex-SAS medic and local porters. These guides navigate the treacherous mud and uneven ground while carrying staggering 45-kilogram loads of food and equipment. The jungle itself actively resists progress. The undergrowth is tangled with vines that behave more like metal wire than plants. They hook onto your neck and your pack, stopping you dead in your tracks. Even when the hiking stops, the pressure remains. Driver ants frequently raid the camp at 2 in the morning, and massive spiders often find their way onto the tent mesh, watching the crew as they try to sleep. These hardships create a constant pressure. The intense humidity, the relentless insects, and the physical exhaustion ensure that every day spent in the basin is a test of why the team chose to come here in the first place. A typical filming day starts at 3:45 a.m. The crew has to navigate a 9-kilometer deep bush track in the dark, trying to reach the bonobos before they descend from their overnight nests. But the morning hike is often interrupted. On one track, the team was completely swarmed by thousands of African honeybees, appearing as a thick, buzzing cloud in the middle of the trail. The swarm is driven by biology rather than aggression. The bees are seeking the salt in the human sweat, and there are so many of them that they cover the lens, the clothes, and the skin. Surviving the swarm requires total stillness. The crew has to remain calm even as bees crawl inside their shirts and armpits, enduring the stings to avoid a more violent reaction from the hive. Despite the insects and the heat, there is one final piece of equipment that is mandatory before making contact. Every member of the team must put on a surgical mask. Because our DNA is 99% identical, we are the greatest threat to their survival. A common human respiratory illness, which we might barely notice, could be fatal to a bonobo population with no natural immunity. It is a unique dynamic. The crew endures the heat and the stings without complaint, only to willingly restrict their own breathing to ensure the bonobos remain safe from human contact. Then the bush finally opens up. The bonobos appear out of the greenery, moving with a fluid, human-like grace that makes their presence feel familiar yet surreal. The crew was able to document a behavior rarely seen by outsiders: truffling. The bonobos use their keen sense of smell to locate and dig up hidden jungle truffles buried beneath the damp foliage. Looking at a bonobo walking through the brush is like looking at a living ancestor. Their round faces and upright posture create a powerful visual link to our own ancient history. These fleeting moments are the reason the team spent 45 days in isolation, walking hundreds of kilometers and enduring endless swarms of ants and bees. Connections of this depth are never found by accident. The rarest experiences in the natural world are kept behind barriers of heat and distance, waiting for those who are willing to walk long enough to find them.